been a while since I've answered some of your questions, so I put out a status the other day asking you to ask me some questions over Twitter, YouTube, and today I'm going to be answering them as best I can. This video is brought to you by FreshBooks. Before I get into the questions, please press that red subscribe button down below. We've got so much new content happening. And if you're interested in design, creativity, and building your personal brand, then go ahead, press the button. Question number 1 is from Ali. How would you label projects on your portfolio for fake clients? Would you write it in a way that makes it sound like a real company, or would you write concept or conceptual in the title of the piece? As with any portfolio project that's real or fake, you don't have to really tell anyone. You can just write it as it is online if you want to. I've got a logo that I made called BMO, which was just something that I created for a YouTube tutorial. You can see the video links down below. And I put that into my portfolio because that was something that I enjoyed working on. Even though it's not for a real company, clients aren't looking for you working for real companies. If you're a designer and you're good at what you do, it doesn't matter who you created it for. If they like the work and you work professionally, showing them your process, then you're gonna have an easier time with a client picking you up for work. So to answer your question, it doesn't matter. 2 questions. What's the best book you recommend for logo design and inspiration? I don't think there is a best book or books. There's a few that I've gone ahead and read. I'll link them down below. I made a video about them a year ago. You'll find all these books on Amazon. I would just suggest looking online at books that you might want to read. Maybe get a Kindle so you can start reading things like, the brand gap and stuff like that. Logo design and branding, how do you differentiate? So a logo design is a mark, something that is unique, that differentiates from a competitor. It's sort of like the face of a company. The brand is basically all of the encompassing assets that come together. So the mission, the typography, the visuals, the iconography, your website, your logo design, where you are in the market, who you're targeted to, all of this is the branding. So it's the all-encompassing value of the company. If you look at me, for instance, I'm on YouTube, I have a certain personality, I have a logo. That is my brand. The background here points towards my brand. So a logo is there to basically be the first point of call for someone to memorize the company and for brand awareness to be there. It's basically a mark to put on a product so people will remember it and recognize it. Would you like to share some of your must-read design books? What do you think about the modernist wave in logo design? So there's 2 questions in one. I've already answered the first question, so I will answer the second one. What do you think about the modernist wave in logo design? So I'm assuming by modernist wave in logo design, you're talking about the ultra modern logo designs that are happening, which are kind of like gradients, and also the impact of devices that we're using now, like mobile phones and monitor technology. I think you're talking about the impact of those with logo design. For me personally, I think it's just about the colors. I don't think modern logos are specifically minimalistic. I think more modern we get, the more technical logos can be, but also modernism in logo design allows us to be extra simplistic, so even more minimal with the design because there's so many different color variations that we can have, and a logo now has to be surrounded with so much branding, so many assets like a website, like I've just talked about. So what do I think about the new modernistic wave? I like it. I think logos, the main thing is it has to be appropriate and timeless. Show us your desk setup, give us a little tour inside your YouTube setup, etc. How do you make your awesome videos? What editing program do you use? So few questions and statements in there. Yes, I will show you my desk setup. I've got a video coming very soon. I'm planning it out, showing you everything that's on my table, on my desk, everything that I use for my workflow. My videos look awesome from a few different key things. So good audio and good lighting and a good background. That's all. The camera doesn't really matter, although I do want a new camera. 4K and a high dynamic range in a camera, or what is it, the dynamic range, so 13 stops of dynamic range, makes the video look a bit better, easier to edit in post for Jordan. And I believe Jordan mostly uses Premiere Pro, and so do I. I did use DaVinci Resolve for a bit, but got bored, so Premiere Pro. Do you ever use fonts that you've created yourself? Funnily enough, I do. I've just designed a new font called Lockdown Sans. It will be available for purchase soon in multiple different weights, and it is a variable font. If you don't know what a variable font is, I'm gonna make a video for you talking all about how variable fonts are made, and especially how I made lockdown sounds. This font that I'm using is going to be our new company's font. So we're doing a whole new rebrand at the minute. So that means new logo, new website, everything. And this font was designed to be working with our company, but it's also designed so other people, like other logo designers, can use the font and use it as a logo design font. It's a good font, and I will show you more about it later. And if you want to purchase it, multiple weights, it'll be linked down below as soon as it's ready. Wow, this is a long one. What steps or methods would you recommend to truly gain client work and sustainable regular income? Okay, I'll answer this one. So I guess you're talking about websites where you feel you have to price yourself lower to get the client work. And you know, I understand that. I don't agree that you have to. I believe that you are priced at what you are because you chose to be there. And if you can't raise your prices by adding value, then you need to try something else. I'm not going to open the can of worms of how to gain clients right now. There's so many factors that go into it, and there's like a system that you can put into practice. Many people believe that social media is a huge place to get client work. Some people believe it's the only way, but I don't believe it is the only way. Of course, we get clients through social media. That's one major way that we get people wanting to work with us, but it's not just through social media. They have to see the work that you're creating. So there's certain specific work that you need to put out there in front of people. And I talk about this in a new upcoming live webinar, which will be recorded and featured on the website as well. This webinar is called Gaining Clients 101. It's on my website right now. I'm going to put a discount code of 20% down below in the description for anyone who wants to join on that webinar. During the webinar, we're going to learn how to grow your client base from 0 to many, whether that's branding and logo design or whether that's just general design work. If you want to generate more client leads and do it independently, this is a great webinar for you. It's not great for anyone who thinks that it's a quick win. You have to actually put the work into it, but I'm going to be showing you all the key ways of doing it in this live webinar. So go and check it out. As a high school student, how do you recommend preparing for a potential future in graphic design? Should I get an internship? Should I ask people if they want something designed and plop that onto a portfolio? Or should I take a course that would look good on my resume or something else? Keep in mind that I don't have much time because of school. So if you're in high school, the number one thing I'll tell you to do is to create a website. Go to Squarespace. There's a link that I use. I'm sponsored by them on other videos, and they're an amazing website that you can create a quick website on. I would do that. You haven't got a lot of time, high school student and all this work that you've got to do. Create the website, make work that you would love to work on in the future. So if you are designing logos, create logos that you want to create in the future. They don't have to be for any company. They don't have to be paid projects. It could be passion projects. If you like packaging design, buy some mock-ups online and design some packaging, put it on there and just update it every week with a new blog post. If you want to get into a future of graphic design, whether that's freelancing or agency, and I mean especially agency, then you're gonna have to have a great portfolio. Agencies like ourselves, we don't really look at qualifications from high school, we look at people's work. All agencies think the work that you've done and the way that you've explained how you got to that end position of the final work that you're showing is important. That's more important than anything. So no excuses, just go ahead, make a portfolio. Are there any online courses that you would recommend? Yeah, there are a few. I'm actually currently taking one on Skillshare about presentation design. There are loads from Domestika, which I would always suggest to go to. There are ones about branding. There's some about 3D design. If you want to learn new skills, I would go to there. But one I want to just promote to you guys really quickly is the logo course. I have been inundated with people asking for a course about logo design, and they're wondering why I've not made one yet. I was supposed to make one years ago, but it never happened because we got quite busy with YouTube, but we are in the process now of making this course. So if you'd like to hear email updates and get special offers on this course before it's released, again, the link is down below in the description. This course will help you create a logo, understand the professional way of doing it, and also gaining clients. So it's all this branding and logo design course all mashed into one. It's a long course, and there will be only a few people that can enroll per time. So you might want to go ahead, get that email into that link down below. What designs should we have in our portfolio to get a good job while we are fresher graphic designers without any experience? The designs that you love to do should always be the priority in your portfolio. They should never be something that is quick fix or a logo for a company that you don't like just because of money. If you're not passionate about the work, that will show in the portfolio. It doesn't particularly matter what you've worked on as long as the passion and enthusiasm is reflected throughout it. So to answer your question, any design, anything that you find fun, anything that you really enjoy doing, that dream passion project, do it, put it in your portfolio, write a case study about the process, boom. My idea generation process. I'll link this one down below. It's all about brainstorming for clients and we use keywords. I'm going to be creating another one which is more of a visual brainstorm where we use images and mood boarding to help with this. But there are also plenty of videos on how I gain ideas for logos. Hey Will, my design business is getting more successful and I have multiple client leads and projects. I'm sensing it's going to get overwhelming in the future. What project tools do you and your team use? What does your project workflow look like from a business perspective? We use Notion to organize projects, organize sponsors, everything around our company, which obviously isn't just design work, it's YouTube as well. And we do a lot of work around hand lettering too. So we use Notion to track everything that we do and to have to-do lists for the company. So when Jordan's editing a video, he knows what he's doing and I know when it's being edited and uploaded and all this stuff. And my project workflow, I don't understand the question because different projects are different workflows, but for a client-based workflow, if you want to see a video about that, then let me know in the comments. It would be good to hear from you. Hey Will, your channel is amazing. Keep up the good work. I want to know how to get into hand lettering. What steps or exercises or tutorials would you recommend for a complete beginner? If you want to get into hand lettering, I've actually made a book of this. Where is it? I did have one. I don't know where it is now. Getting into hand lettering is a daunting task because there's so much you want to do. I would suggest reading books and just practicing. I've even written a book all on calligraphy and hand lettering. Again, I'll link this down below. There's so many links in the description. It's a great way of getting started. It shows you drills and it shows you ways of creating lettering that you wouldn't have thought of before. If you're getting into lettering, the best way to start is just doing it. So just start the project. Start by writing your name in cool lettering on a scrap piece of paper with a pencil. Boom. You don't need an iPad yet. You don't need anything fancy yet. Just start now and see how it goes. When you first get into the business, how do you go about building a client base? To build a client, I'll give you one tip of building a client base. Make sure that when you've done your work, you follow up. Make sure that the work that they've gotten, they're happy with, serve them. That's all we're about. When you have a client, serve them and have a servant heart, which means that you are there to help them serve their business, make them more money. I just want to thank FreshBooks for sponsoring this video. If you're in the business of design and you struggle with making and keeping timings on invoices and expenses, FreshBooks is perfect for you. FreshBooks allows you to track invoices, keep all your expenses in one place. You can even message clients directly through the invoicing platform. So you know when they've seen your invoice and they're ignoring you, or you know when they've not paid it because it'll notify you. You can hook up your bank account as well so that you can track all the expenses in a single account and it's automatically there for you at tax time. Tax time is so easy as well. You can allow your accountant to get on board very easily to sort everything out and work out how much tax you need to pay. Designers and creatives in general, unless you're a bit strange, do not like invoicing. They do not like all this admin stuff. So FreshBooks is great for saving so much time. If you'd like to try FreshBooks for 30 days completely free, risk-free with no credit card required, go ahead and click the link down below in the description and let them know that I sent you to them. If you enjoyed this video, please press that red subscribe button. It would mean the world. And if you have any more questions that you would like to ask or any struggles in the design community or in your personal work, let me know in the comments. I'm reading every comment and I'm responding to as many as I can. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video, but wait, we're not going yet. Click this video. This one right here may change your life. I don't know if it will. But I hope it will. It'll be entertaining at least.